Hi, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kez, also known as Chameleon Makeup and For the Love of Wigs on Instagram and on YouTube and also on TikTok. The main thing that I tend to do on this channel is videos to do with wigs, and that's reviews, showing off my wig collection, that kind of thing. I also do makeup, but I am going to do that on a separate channel, but they can also be found up on my Instagram and also on TikTok. So I'm just going to do what I usually do, give you a quick rundown of what makeup I'm wearing today, and then we'll get on with the rest of the video. So you can skip this bit if you don't want to see what I'm wearing. So today I've got on P. Louise lip products. I've used one of the lip bases, but I haven't put anything over the top, and I've just lined it with a lip liner. I've kept up my brows quite natural today, and I've also just used a little bit of Doll Beauty in them just to give them a little bit of colour. My eyes I've also kept very light, and I have used the Pat McGrath palette. Pat McGrath palettes are quite expensive, but they are worth the money, and if you buy the bigger palettes then they are worth it. The smaller ones sometimes retail around £80, which is quite expensive, but you can get the big ones now for about £60, which sounds a lot of money, but you do get a lot of colours and the quality is good, and you can usually pick them up cheaper in the sales. So today I've used a different foundation to what I usually use. I've used the Uoma Beauty foundation. It's mainly aimed at darker skin, but they do foundation for all skin tones. This one is really nice. I used a matching website to match up my foundation to get the shade right. This shade is actually called White Pearl, and it matches my skin really well. And it's like a matte foundation. It's just called Say What, but it is, as it says, very lightweight, and also it's hydrating, which you don't usually get from a lot of matte foundations, so it doesn't make the skin feel dry. And I've just stuck on a little bit of NARS blusher and a little bit of Essence mascara. So that's the makeup products that I've got on. So today I've got a slightly different video. Although I tend to show you my wig collection, it is kind of about my wig collection, but instead of showing the ones that I already have, I've had a new delivery come from Shein, so I wanted to show you that stuff, or Shein, however you want to pronounce it. You're seeing it as I'm seeing it, as it's arrived. There's a few things in here. Some of them are hair products like clips and things, and I'll talk you through those as I go along, and some of them are wigs. So what I'm going to do is show you the clips, and then I'll show you the wigs afterwards. There's nothing I love better than a good haul, and Shein is really good for that. You can get some really nice little hair accessories, which is some of which I've bought. The reason behind some of these is for costumes, because although it's still early on in the year, I will be planning my Halloween look soon, because I try and do 31 different ones, and that does take time, especially since I try and outdo myself every year. The first thing that I've got, which I thought could be used for autumn looks, could be used for possibly poison ivy, fairy cosplay, that kind of thing, or just pretty looks, are these lovely little leaf hair slides. They look like real leaves. They are quite nice quality. They've got a decent slide buried in them to keep them in place, and they've got some nice brocading on there as well. Very shiny. You get a pack here. I think they were probably £1, £2. They're not expensive. You get a pack with 5, I believe, in. I'll show you those, and they are all slightly different colours. Look how shiny they are. And I thought they are on proper clips that pop out, which makes it easier to put them in your hair, which is fantastic. They will also work really well on wigs. I'm just going to pop them on and show you what they look like. So you can put them next to each other if you wanted and create like a flower shape. There's quite a lot of possibilities with these, but I'm just showing you what they look like and the colours that they come in. So they're really pretty, nice little slides, easy to put in, easy to keep the hair in place, whether it be normal hair or a wig. As I say, you could use them for various different things, but they're so cute. I really like them. I was happy when they came because I wasn't sure. You can never sometimes tell on websites what the quality is going to be like. Some of them are cheap and fall apart, but these ones are actually quite nice quality. So that's one of the hair accessories I got. The second one I got was these. These are little daisies. Now these ones are on like a little bulldog clip. I thought these would be perfect for, again, either fairy looks or possibly for retro looks, you know, if you're doing something around the 60s or something like that with the flowers. That's the little clip at the back, and it's just the bulldog clip, so you just push it out and you can clip it in. So you could wear them at the front of your hair or wig, but also alternatively, if you wanted to pretty it up, you could also put them through as well and create a pattern with them. So they were really cute. Again, not very expensive, possibly a couple of pound. They usually don't cost more than £3, to be honest. 2, 4. Again, you get 6, so that's really good value for those. I've got 2 more hair accessories. These ones I originally saw pop up on an advertisement that comes through Facebook. You know, they advertise various bits and pieces. And they're clips, but although they're like a proper clip that you'd use to clip back your hair if your hair dye it or whichever, this top bit here has also got mini bulldog clips. And the idea is that you can put your hair in twisty styles. Now, I already have previously a hairband from there, which I really love. I think it came in a pack of 2 or 3, and that sits on like that. And as you pull your hair back, you can twist it Y2K 90s style. And then you lift up the clips here and slip it under, and then you can do that all the way around. The idea of these is that they do a similar thing. So if you wanted a little bit of style to either a wig or your own hair, you can clip them in and you can style the hair at the same time. So if you wanted to sort of do a twisty style, you could, for example, plait this bit and pull it over to here. And then if you pull out the clip, you could clip it in. I'll just show you what I mean very quickly. There's quite a few tutorials online that show you little styles you can do with these clips, which I think is great. And the thing is, sometimes if you put a wig all the way back, you can see the hairline on it. So it's something that you can do that creates nice, easy styles for your wigs, that gives you something a little bit different, but you don't have to stress too much about whether it's going to show. So then you could do something like this, and then again you could pull it over and pop it inside the clip, which will hold it into place. And you could literally create little plaits all the way around. You can hold it back sort of in that sort of shape and twist and turn and make all different shapes with it. So they're really clever. The last clips that I got, well, I say clips, they're actually quite big accessories, also from the same place. They've got the bulldog clips on the back, and they are these quite elaborate wings. Again, got them for fairy cosplay, angels, that kind of thing. But they are really fun to wear. They look really ridiculous, but with a costume they'd look quite good, I think. You could also, if you wanted, accessorize your clothes with these, because they're little clips. If you were wearing, for example, a vest top or a strappy dress, you could actually attach them onto the dress as well. So there is a couple of uses. They come under what they call fairy core, which is basically people that dress in outfits that resemble fairies. They have various cores for whichever, but I'm going to show you what they look like in the hair. I say they are very elaborate, but that's the idea. So you can sit them on your head like that, or if you wanted to, obviously you can angle them so they're more visible. Wouldn't probably recommend going to Tesco in them, to be fair, but they would be good for costume purposes. And I thought they'd also be nice, as I say, as little wings for costumes to stick on outfits as well. So that's why I got those. So that's all of the accessories that I've got. I'm just going to pop these back in the bag, and then I'm going to show you the wigs that I got. So the first one I got is very different. I decided to get myself an afro wig. There is a couple of reasons for this. I wanted to do a couple of costumes, and the costumes involved quite big hair. And one of the ones that I wanted to do is for a gold member cosplay, which is from Austin Powers. And the main character in it has an afro. I also thought it'd be good for 80s looks and things like that. Plus, I've never seen myself with an afro, and I wondered what it would look like. It was a cheap wig, it wasn't expensive. I think it was probably about £6, £10, something like that. It was definitely £10 or under, but I thought it was quite fun. So here we go. What do I look like with an afro? Love it. It reminds me a bit of my mum. She's got quite curly hair. Not quite like this though. But I think that's actually quite cool. I think that'd be really good for sort of either 80s looks or 60s looks or something a bit fun. It's nice because you can fluff it up. It does mimic afro texture really well, and I like the length of it, and I like the fact that it just looks like a giant microphone on my head. It is meant for costumes, as I say, but I'm not going to be running around the park in it or anything. I did really want to see what I looked like with an afro. Okay, wig 2. Still got the netting on and everything, because I literally haven't taken them out yet. This one is a brown curly one. It is a full lace frontal, which I was quite happy about. Supposed to be a decent quality one. This is one of their more expensive ones. It has got very curly spiral hair. I would probably say that looking at the type of curls, it might need separating a little to look better, but we'll see when we try it on what it looks like. Obviously I'll be cutting the lace, but I'm just going to put it on for now. So it's got 3 combs, 2 in the front, 1 in the back to hold it into place. Not all of them have the combs. It's usually a sign of a better quality wig if it does have the combs in it. So it is quite big hair. I like the way it's got a slightly raised forehead line there, because it would blend in with mine quite well, and I will cut it close to that shape. I mean, this bit here is, I'm just going to tuck this under for a second just so that we get the idea of what the wig looks like. Obviously once that's removed, that will look good. And as I thought, the curls at the moment are just a little bit blocky, if that makes sense. But what I would suggest with this kind of wig, you can brush it with a brush, but then it goes fluffy. So the best thing you can do is to just separate the curls with your fingers. I mean, it's really soft and it's not tangly at all. It has got a slight wet look to it, but I don't know whether that's just the shininess because it's just straight out of the bag. I would probably wash it through just to get rid of that kind of oily look with it, because sometimes they do have like a silicone type spray on to keep them nice in the bag, but that can sometimes make them look slightly oily. And before you get rid of the wig, it's probably worth giving it a bit of a wash. Now I'm just going to tame this side a little bit, but not the other side, just so you can see the difference it makes when you separate the curls. And I'm literally just going through, pulling them down so that it's not got as much height to it. So from the top, and you can actually use a brush on the top if you wanted to straighten that a little bit so it's not as high. I just take the brush and just do the first sort of inch or so, just so that it doesn't send the rest too fluffy, and then just pull it down with your hands so that it doesn't get all poofy and horrible. I mean, unless of course you want poofy hair. But you can see where the curls do need a little bit of a separation. When you separate them, there's like 4 in 1 maybe. But yeah, that side versus this side, you can see the difference. I would probably also add some more texture to it. So around the front here, I will take these bits and I'm going to cut these to about there. I will add a little bit into the video after I finish the video, once I've finished this wig, just so you can see what it looks like when it's been styled properly. But I just want to show you the other ones first. Next up, I have a wig with a cap. I've wanted to try one of these and they're really cheap. And the idea is that it's got the cap attached. I just got one with a standard black cap and it's just got straight black hair on it. I figured if I go away in the summer and I really can't be bothered to do my hair, it's a good way to cover it up and just whack a cap on it at the same time. Now let's see what this looks like on. The cap is adjustable at the back, so if it's too tight for your head, my head's a little bigger than the cap, you can adjust it. You do have to play with it to make sure the hair sits over your own hair. It does look quite realistic and it's quite good. I'm quite surprised. What I would do though is straighten this bit here, because for me it's a little bit wavy. It's probably just because it's been sitting in the bag, but I would personally straighten that. But it's a nice wig. The hair does go all the way around the back. Despite me saying I have too many blue wigs, I like to contradict myself. I've bought another blue wig. What appealed to me about this one though is, one, it's lace front and it's got really sort of smudge roots, and I can't resist a blue wig. It doesn't matter how many I've got, I just end up buying more. So we'll see what this one looks like on. Again, it's a full lace front, which is good. I will need to sort the lace out on it. It's quite good lace. You can see before I've even cut it that it's thick, but it's invisible. So once that's cut, you won't even see that lace. Bit like the red one I got before. If you've watched my previous videos, I had one similar from the same place. Now, this bit here for me is a little bit battered from where it's been in the bag, but again, they are heat resistant, so I do think this needs the straighteners running through it. Once that's done and I've knocked a little bit of that shine off it, I think it will be really nice, because I do think sometimes these wigs come a little bit too shiny. But again, they are straight out of the packet, so usually what you would do is wash them, but I'm just trying to show you them as they come. This one I was unsure about. I saw it on there and it looked nice, but the lace didn't look very thick on it, so I was a bit hesitant as to whether to buy this one or not, because it is a very small scrap of lace and it's more like the hard top. But I did notice that it had built-in baby hairs, which did appeal, because it means that it kind of covers where that lace area is. I love the colours. It's really nice. I love that sort of money piece at the front. But you can see here, look, it's got little baby hairs all the way along on the fringe. So even though it's not the most realistic hairline in terms of the plastic bit here, it does have that little bit of lace, which I think is going to be enough because it goes all the way across instead of just the strip. So it does give the hairline itself a realistic look. And with those little baby hairs, which I'm going to make sure I don't cut off, I think that's a really nice wig, especially because it was a cheaper one. But the colours are beautiful on it. It's really pretty. This is probably the one I'm most happy with straight out of the bag. Okay, this one, and we know now I like an unusual wig, really caught my eye. It starts off green. It is a full lace front. It fades into brown and sort of a very dark brown on the ends, but it kind of looks in the nicest possible way like a bad dye job. But I kind of like that look with it. I thought it was quite unusual. I mean, you could say you could just do a bad dye job on my own hair, but we'll see. See, that's really nice. Again, it's got that lace that's going to be invisible once I've cut it, which I really love. It's probably my favourite type of lace, this really see-through stuff here. It won't look too bad if my roots show through, because it'll just look like I've got naturally darker roots. You can see in the ends here, it's sort of the green and the brown mixes, which is quite nice. It's not too shiny either. So unlike the blue one, there's not as much natural shine on this one, which I really like. And I think that actually looks weirdly nice. It is a strange combination of colours, I know. And it does look like I've just got green outgrown roots, I suppose. But yeah, I really like that. I think it's different, and I like different. What I'm going to do now though is I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to sort these wigs out, wash them, do whatever needs doing to them, cut the lace, and then I'll show you the finished results and you can tell me if you think they were worth the money or not. So I'll see you very soon. Okay, I'm back, and what a transformation this has been. I'm just trimming up bits of it still now, so bear with me. I'll talk to you while I do it because I just want it to be the same length. So what I did with it is I washed it to get rid of all of that horrible fake artificial grease. I separated all of the curls, which did take a while. I was surprised because although it did tangle a little, which I expected, it wasn't half as bad as what I thought it would be. so that was good. Then what I did was I got the thinning shears on it, and I really thinned it out because it was really thick. I looked at the top of this wig and there was little bits of wefts, so it was wefted in. So what I did was, around the front where it was really thick, I did cut some of the wefts right up to the lace. You can't tell because it's all underneath, but it just thinned it out a little bit because it was so heavy and thick. It just didn't look like real hair and it wasn't comfortable to wear. And then all I've done is I've really sort of shagged the ends just by using the scissors to cut into it to thin them, so that I've not got these really thick hairs. And then I've really cut the lace as well, and I've cut little bits into the fringe and given it some shape, because it didn't have any shape to it at all. It was just hanging. And then you can see there that I have actually flattened down the top as well to make it lie a little bit nicer on this, on the head. Now there might be bits that I still find that I need to trim as I go through it, just to make it a little bit more perfect. Because the thing with curly hair is it moves all the time and you can't necessarily always see the longer bits, which is why I'm still trimming up now. Just as I move my head and I see them, I'm just trimming them into shape. But I think the end result is a lot better, and it's made the wig look a lot more in control, I think. I will just show you this. This is all the hair that came out of the wig. So I've cut probably a good half of it out just to give it that thinness that it needed, because it was so thick, which is great, but no one's hair is that thick and you could not wear that. Last thing I did was I just took some of the Dimples Fibre Oil Conditioner, which is for wigs, and I've just sprayed it through so that the curls that are still there are separated. And I also did run the straighteners through them a little bit as well. Not to completely straighten the curls, but just to relax them a little bit, because they were really tight, and I'm really happy with that now. So I hope you like that transformation. Tell me what you think. Does it look better? Did you prefer it before? I actually prefer it because it's easier to wear, for one, and it's also more comfortable because it was so heavy. It wasn't just nice to sit on your head at all. I also like the slightly shorter length to it as well. I think that suits it a lot better, definitely on me anyway. And you could also use some of those slides that I bought in this now, where before it was just a mass of curls that you couldn't do anything with. You can now pin it down if you wanted to, which makes it a lot easier to do. If I wanted to change the parts, it has got a free part with this one, which means that you can move the part around if you want to. That's why it looks like that there, so that you can change the part around. I usually go for a middle part because that's just how my hair is anyway. But yeah, I think even just those little bits around the face there that have framed it a little have made such a difference to it, because it really was just like really crazy. I might frame a little bit more there, but I hope you like what I've done with it, and I'll show you the others. Okay, so the second one, all I've done with this one is just trim the lace. It already does have these little baby hairs in, which I have left, so it does look more natural around that line there. It's not a bad wig, to be honest. Quite happy with it. There wasn't really much needing doing to this. It hasn't got too much artificial shine. Those beautiful blonde money piece bits are really nice. So yeah, that one. Okay, that's the hat wig. I have straightened it now, but I don't think that I will keep it, just because, as nice as it is, the peak's a little bit too big for me. I've only got a small head, and I think peaks this wide just don't really suit me, but it does look quite nice on, and so somebody will be quite lucky to get that, I think. Okay, this is the other one now. It's had a little TLC. I've cut the lace right back because this one is designed to be on a side part, so I had to sort of cut the lace at an angle just so that it would match in with that. I have trimmed this bit very slightly here just to give it a little bit of a fringe so that it blends in better, and I'm probably going to just do the same with this bit here. It is supposed to be an angled bob, so that's fine. I really like that. And I've also sprayed it after I washed it with a little bit of mattifying hairspray, which is this one by Got To Be, because it knocks off some of that shine. And now it's actually done properly. You can tell that I thought the roots were kind of like a brown, but they're not. They're actually grey. So it's a grey fade into blue, which is actually really pretty. And that's that one. I've got one more to show you, which is the one I've just got to cut the lace on with the green, and then we'll finish the video. And the final finished wig, this is the one that I call Swampy Hair because it reminds me of a swamp. So all I've done with this one is literally cut the lace. You can see the lace is so invisible that you can't even see it and detect it. I have left bits here, so if I wanted to, I could glue it down. But I don't think it's actually needed because the lace is that invisible on it that you can't even see it. But it's always nice to have options, just in case. For example, if I was doing something that involved me moving around a lot, like going on a roller coaster or something like that, and I wanted to wear my wig, then I would probably want to glue it down just in case. And so it's always nice just to make sure that you give yourself that little bit of wiggle room. I hope you've enjoyed the video, seeing the new wigs from Shein and seeing what I've done with them. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you like that I did particularly, or if there's anything else you'd like to see. I have got another video to show you with some Lucky Dip wigs from Keshley's Head Shop, and also some that I've got off Vinted, and there's still some left from my main collection. So I hope you'll join me again soon. Thanks for watching.